Hi Capricorn, welcome to your annual 2023-24 Astrology Horoscope forecast. I'm Anisha. Welcome to my channel. I speak everything about astrology and tarot. We are opening the year 2023 with two planets that are retrograde. We have Mars, which is retrograde in your day-to-day chores. This is also the house of your health. And then we have Mercury, which is retrograde in your own house. And all of this is there till about mid-January. So things are off to a slightly slow start, Capricornians. Not a good time to be starting anything new. Not a good time to be signing any contracts, starting a project. Not a good time to be buying, selling, leasing. Also, because we have Mars, which is putting brakes in your house of health, it's a time to be taking charge of your health. Maybe something needs to get redone. You need to be looking at that. Also, as far as your diet is concerned, you need to be focusing on that as well. So a lot of reflection on the house of your day-to-day chores and also your own sense of self. A lot of focus on what is it that you want ahead in life, how it is that you want to be living, how is it that you want the world to perceive you, what is going to be the way that you're going to be earning money. So all of that reflection on your own self goals is there when we start the year. With Mercury being retrograde, please keep in mind that it is a good time to be redoing things. So if you need to be reworking on your plumbing, if you need to be doing anything, any repair work that needs to get done, it's a fabulous time to be doing it, but do not start anything new. It is also not a good time to be buying any heavy ticket item. It is also, and if you must do that, try and keep the warranty or your, ensure it has a warranty and keep your receipts in place. On March 8th, we have Saturn that is going to be changing signs, and it is resonating with Neptune, which is there in Pisces, and it is moving into your house of communication. So the transit is of Saturn in this specific house speaks about your relationship with the people with who are there in your community, who are there around you, and how it is that you deal with them, how it is that you network, you speak, you communicate, you engage with them, and all of that is going to be coming up for inspection by Saturn. So you can almost expect a new kind of pressure or almost a tension which gets produced with Saturn being in this house. And it is also not about what you're saying, Capricornians. It is how it is that you're saying. So there can be a lot of backlash from people, from community on the way that you deal with them. Earlier, maybe if it has been, quieter or there's not been much feedback, but for the next 3 years, Saturn is going to be forcing you to learn different ways to communicate or to be more careful about your speech with others. So for a lot of you, it can be that, you could feel like maybe your acquaintances or people or even siblings are blocking your way or your growth in some way. And these relationships can be quite strained as a result. And you may have a desire to make new contacts or meet with people. But also for a lot of you, you could be quite in a serious frame of mind. You will have very less patience with superficial conversation, and you won't want to you would consider it as a waste of time. Also, for some of you, depending again as to how your planets are placed, you could feel an unusual pressure to the structure of your time and effort, and to cut out communication that seems unnecessary. For you could feel quite overwhelmed by running your day-to-day life. You could feel as if there is a lacking in discipline or structure that is there, and there could generally be more disruptions than you may expect. So Saturn also, being over here, because it brings about a sense of urgency and worry, where when it's ruling our communication, that you could almost sense as if some area of your life it's coming to an end. you could be in a bit of a rush, or you could be quite sharp with your speech, or you could be, almost this false sense of urgency could get created for you. But I think it's important for you to remember that, you need to be learning how it is that you communicate better with people, and how it is that you're more empathetic, how it is that you're more softer, how it is that you're more considerate of others while having that communication, and not consider communication as a it's a waste of time, or you cannot be dealing with too much of politeness. So that is something you need to be careful about this year. March the 23rd, we have Pluto, which is the most talked about planetary aspect of the decade. He's changing signs. March the 23rd, we have Pluto that is changing signs, and this is one of the most talked about aspects of the decade. Pluto has been there in your own house, your own sign, Capricornians, and now it's leaving you for good. It's been there since 2008 for 20 years, and now it's going to be moving to Aquarius. And now Pluto is going to be looking at your house of earned income. It's going to be looking at your sense of self-worth. So Pluto is going to be has actually shifted and changed and moved and churned a lot in you in the last 20 years. It has, like, for a lot of you, it is, the metamorphosis began in 2008, where you had to let go of a lot of things which were not in your control. You literally had to reinvent yourself. But also I think things that you valued and you loved, you had to give up on that. But now it is, you have to look ahead and have to understand as to how it is that you need to be managing your resources better. So try not to keep any possessions or forms of income to which you were accustomed. Try not to sort of hang on very tightly to money, or to even, I would say, invest more, because this is a time where Pluto tends to take away, something that we have been used to. So if you've been used to a very large house, all of a sudden you'll find that you're living in a smaller space, and you have to sort of adjust to that. Similarly, if you've been in a very fancy job, all of a sudden you find that you've had to downscale, and you are working with a small boutique firm, and it's no longer, the perks that you had earlier were no longer there. So this is the Pluto transit over here is going to be teaching you how to manage your resources more efficiently, and with a purpose of all your possessions, and also your ideas, principles, and inherited values as well. The money that you earn and everything else that you produce. So it will be a challenge in certain cases to review in a way that the way that you're using your resources, or the way that you are using your possessions to the maximum possible way. However, in certain cases, I would say that if Pluto is not aspected well, there could be some material and economic losses as well. So try also stay away from schemes that make you rich very quickly. I'm also doing a series of Pluto on my Instagram feed. I go by the same handle, Tarot by Anisha. You're most welcome to have a look at that as well. I will be doing a series of videos as well on my YouTube channel on Pluto transiting each and every specific house once I'm done with doing the annual videos. So on June 7th, we will have Pluto, which will roll back. It will go retrograde. It will go move back into your house of self. It will again give you a sense of and check whether you have learned all those lessons of releasing power, how it is that, your maybe innate desire to control others. And all of this is at a deeper psychological level. Now, whether that controlling is stemming from fear or abandonment, or it is something that you have learned as a child from your mother, this is something that Pluto would have taught you to release. And by now, hopefully, when it rolls back briefly and checks whether you have those lessons learned, by end of December 2023, Pluto for good is going to be rolling back into your house of income for the next 20 years. On On April 20th, we have a solar eclipse, which is there in your house of home. It is resonating with Jupiter. It speaks about some wonderful expansion. It can be that you're starting something new. Maybe you're renovating your house. Maybe you're expecting guests during this time, and it can also be that some of you could be buying, renting, leasing. In some cases, you could also be shifting cities, and you could be moving home. May the 5th, we have lunar eclipse, which is there in your house of long distance travel. And some of you could be traveling out of the country. You could be dealing with people who are, placed internationally. Maybe some of you could be working with international offices. It speaks about buying, renting, leasing. And May 17th, Jupiter resonates with Uranus in your house of love, romance, creativity, and children. And this is there again, going to be there for a year. So you will find that your relationship is quite unusual. It's quite dynamic where your children is concerned. Maybe it's also unpredictable. Maybe you may hear some unpredictable news as far as your children are concerned. On October 14th, we have a solar eclipse, which is there in your house of career and reputation. So there could be a new chapter as far as your work is concerned. Maybe there could be some accolades that you're getting. There is some recognition that is happening as far as your work is there. For some of you, because this also speaks about, putting your best foot out, because you are under scrutiny as far as your work is concerned. You could be quite conscious as to how it is that the world is viewing you, the professional world is viewing you as far as your work is concerned. On 28th October, we have a lunar eclipse that is there in your house of love, romance, creativity, and children. And something comes to an end over here. Maybe a creative project is ending. Maybe in some cases for you, it may mean that, you are, it has to do with some news regarding your child. It's a good time to be publishing for those of you who are who are writers. It's a great time to be releasing some music as well, or even to be releasing movies. Lunar eclipses tend to be quite emotional. So it can be that, maybe in certain cases, depending as to how the planets are placed for you, a romance also is coming to an end. The interesting aspect is that we have all the retrograde energy is very earthy, and you're an earthy sign, Capricornians, and it is the retrogrades are from April to May, and August to September, and December to Jan 2024. And it's you in any case, I think, since you are governed by Saturn, responsibility and duty is nothing new for you, and you do not worry about it. But it's a year, if you have been sitting and planning and thinking about something, please go ahead and implement it this year. This is a year of implementation, and you have all the support, all the earthy practical energy support that is there, which will help you make a great success out of it. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Capricornians. I wish you a fabulous 2023. I'll see you again soon, and thank you so much for watching.